Assalamualaikum and a very good day to Dr. Najiha. So today our group will present our research entitled The Impact of Social Media Influencer on the Purchasing Intentions of Beauty Products. So my name is Rizka Suswanti binti Daware and I will begin with chapter 1, which cover the research background, problem statement, research question and also the research objective. So nowadays, social media has become one of the most influential platforms for marketing, especially in the beauty industry. Platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube have changed the way consumers discover and purchase beauty products. Instead of relying only on traditional advertisement, many consumers now depends on recommendations from social media influencers. In this study, we focus on 3 important dimensions of influencer credibility, namely attractiveness, trustworthiness, and also expertise based on the source credibility theory. These 3 dimensions are believed to influence consumer purchase intention. Therefore, this research aims to investigate how this credibility factor affect the purchasing intentions of beauty products among university students from University Technology Mara and University Malaysia Sabah. Moving on to the problem statement, the beauty industry has experienced rapid growth through influencer marketing, especially on platforms like TikTok. Influencer recommendations have become one of the major factors that influencing consumer purchasing behavior. However, despite this growing trend, university students still face several challenges when deciding whether to purchase beauty product promoted by the influencer. The first issue is that students often find it's difficult to distinguish between genuine product recommendations and paid promotional content. Since there are so many influencers collaborate with other brands, so consumer may question it whether the review are honest or it's just a simply sponsored advertisement. The second issue is it's related to influencer credibility. Students may not be sure whether influencers truly have the knowledge, experience, or qualifications to recommend the beauty product. If consumers doubt an influencer expertise or sincerity, they may hesitate to purchase the recommended products. Another important issue is that although influencer marketing has been widely studied, there is still limited research focusing specifically on the credibility of TikTok influencer and its impact on beauty product purchase intentions among students in UiTM Sabah and UMS. Therefore, this study seeks to identify which credibility factors such as attractiveness, trustworthiness, or expertise has the greatest influence on student purchasing intentions towards the beauty products. So, based on all the problems that I have mentioned before, this study aims to answer 3 research questions. The first is, what is the relationship between attractiveness and purchase intention? The second one is, what is the relationship between trustworthiness and purchase intentions? And finally, what is the relationship between expertise and purchase intention? These questions help us understand which dimensions of influencer credibility plays the most significant role in encouraging students to purchase beauty products. Corresponding to the research question, this study has 3 research objectives. The first objective is to examine the relationship between attractiveness and purchase intentions. The second objective is to determine the relationship between trustworthiness and purchase intentions. And lastly, the third objective is to identify the relationship between expertise and purchase intention. By achieving this objective, this research provides a better understanding of how different aspects of influencer credibility influence university students' purchasing intentions. The findings may also help beauty brands and marketers select influencers with the most effective characteristics for promoting their products. That concludes Chapter 1 of our presentations. We have introduced the research background, discussed the problem statement, and also presented the research questions and objectives. I will now hand over the presentations to my group member who will continue with chapter 2, which is literature review, including the conceptual framework and hypothesis development. Thank you.
Next, I will continue the presentation by explaining our chapter 2, which is the literature review. So in this chapter, it will discuss about our key variable in our research, the conceptual framework that we use, and the relationship between the independent variable and dependent variable. So for the dependent variable, which is the purchase intention, it refers to a consumer's willingness or motivation to buy a particular product or service. According to the literature, purchasing intention is influenced by several factors such as product price, brand trust, product quality, and consumers' perception. In our study, we examine whether the credibility of influencers can also increase consumers' intention to purchase the skincare products. So for our first independent variable, which is the attractiveness, it refers to physical appearance and overall appeal of an influencer. According to the Patzer 1983, attractiveness is the degree to which a person's physical features are pleasing to observe. An attractive influencer can capture consumers' attention, create a positive impression, and encourage them to consider purchasing the promoted product. And for the second independent variable, which is the trustworthiness refers to how honest, reliable, and believable an influencer is. When consumers trust an influencer, they are more likely to believe the product recommendations, they develop confidence in the product, and based on the previous studies also found that the trustworthiness plays an important role in increasing consumers' purchase intention. And for the final independent variable, which is the expertise refers to the knowledge, skills, and experience an influencer has regarding a specific product or field. Consumers are more likely to trust recommendations from influencers who are knowledgeable and experienced, especially in skincare. Therefore, higher expertise is expected to positively influence consumers' purchase intention. So next, let's jump into our hypothesis. We developed 3 hypotheses and for this research. And for the first hypothesis, it states that there is a significant relationship between the attractiveness of the social media influencer and consumer purchase intention. And next, for the second hypothesis, it states that there is a significant relationship between the trustworthiness of the social media influencers and consumer purchase intention. And for the last hypothesis, it states that there is a significant relationship between the expertise of a social media influencers and consumer purchase intention. This hypothesis will be tested using the data collected from our respondents. For the framework that we have used, the framework illustrates that all 3 dimensions of source credibility, which is the attractiveness, the trustworthiness, and the expertise, are expected to have a positive relationship with the consumer's purchase intention.
Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. My name is Azwa Zarina and I will continue with the methodology used to conduct this study. First, let's talk about our target population and sampling frame. Our primary target population focuses strictly on active university students within the city of Kota Kinabalu, Sabah in the year 2026. Specifically, data collection centered on undergraduate diploma, bachelor's and master's degree students from University Technology Mara UiTM, Sabah campus and University Malaysia, Sabah. This Gen Z students segment was chosen because they have a high culture of digital adaptability and they consistently rely on online content creators for cosmetic and beauty product recommendations. To gather insights from this specific group, we applied a non-probability purposive sampling technique. This technique allowed us to intentionally select respondents based on specific characteristics relevant to our research objectives. To determine our sample size, a power analysis using G-Power software was conducted for a multiple regression model with 3 predictors. This ensured we achieved the minimum required sample size for statistical validity. Ultimately, a total of 107 usable and valid responses were successfully gathered by distributing an online questionnaire through Google Form. Now, let's look at our questionnaire design and operationalization. Every variable in this study was measured using a standardized 5-point Likert scale, ranging from 1 for strongly disagree to 5 for strongly agree. This allowed us to weigh the respondents' levels of agreement accurately. To ensure data quality, we embed an opening question right at the beginning, asking if participants have ever purchased or considered purchasing a beauty product after seeing it recommended by a social media influencer. In total, the questionnaire consists of 25 distinct items adapted from established academic literature. 5 items evaluating elegant appearance and image were adapted from Rathnayake et al. 2022 to measure attractiveness. Another 5 items from the same source measured trustworthiness by determining if an influencer is viewed as an honest, sincere friend rather than a paid advertisement. For expertise, 5 items evaluated their knowledge and application skills. For consumer purchasing intention was also measured using 5 items, acting as the bridge between credibility and behavior. Finally, demographic items were referenced from Chin et al. 2019 to track age, gender, ethnicity, university, program, and year of study. For our data collection technique, we utilized online methods by distributing a direct questionnaire link. This approach allowed us to reach respondents geographically, giving them the flexibility to complete the survey at their own convenience and pace, which saved time, minimized missing data, and lowered administrative costs. Once collected, all data points were dynamically processed using IBM SPSS software version 27.0. We administered 3 primary statistical tests to analyze the data, which is descriptive analysis, reliability analysis, and multiple regression analysis.
Hello everyone, my name is Natasha. Now I will present the descriptive analysis of the respondent demographic profile. A total of 107 respondents participated in this study. First, let's look at the age of the respondents. The majority were between 21 and 23 years old, representing 61.68% or 66 respondents. This was followed by respondents aged 18 to 20 years old with 31.78% or 34 respondents. Only 7 respondents or 6.54% were 24 years old and above, while there were no respondents below 18 years old. This indicates that most respondents were undergraduate students in the typical university age range. Next is gender. The results show that 61 respondents or 57% were female, while 46 respondents or 43% were male. Therefore, female respondents will form the majority of the sample. For ethnicity, the largest group was Bumiputra with 74 respondents, representing 69.16%. This was followed by Malay respondents at 24.30%, Chinese respondents at 2.80%, and other ethnicities at 3.74%. There were no Indian respondents in this study. So let's moving on to the university. Most respondents come from University Technology Mara Cawangan Sabah, Campus Kota Kinabalu with 69 respondents, representing 64.49%. The remaining 38 respondents or 35.51% were from University Malaysia Sabah. For the program of study, the majority were bachelor degree students with 82 respondents, accounting for 76.64%. Meanwhile, 25 respondents or 23.36% were diploma students. There were no master's degree students involved in this survey. Lastly, for the year of study, Year 2 students made up the largest group with 65 respondents, representing 60.75%. This was followed by Year 1 students with 27.10%, Year 3 students with 8.41%, and Year 4 students with 3.74%. So in conclusion, the respondents in this study were mainly 21 to 23 years old, female, Bumiputra, studying in UiTM Kota Kinabalu, enrolled in a bachelor degree program, and currently in Year 2. This demographic profile reflects the characteristics of respondents who participate in this research. That's all from me. Thank you.
So next, I will present the reliability analysis of our study. Reliability analysis is used to check whether our questionnaire is consistent and reliable. We use Cron Batch Alpha to measure reliability. A value above 0.7 means the questionnaire is reliable. Our result show purchase intention, attractiveness, trustworthiness, and expertise are 0.9. All values are above 0.9, which is the questionnaire has excellent reliability. Therefore, all the variables used in this study are reliable and suitable for further analysis. So now I will explain the multiple regression analysis. This analysis was used to examine the relationship between the 3 independent variables: attractiveness, trustworthiness, and expertise. and the dependent variable, which is purchase intention. The R value is 0.770, showing a strong relationship between the variables. The R square value is 0.593. This means that 59.3% of purchase intention can be explained by attractiveness, trustworthiness, and expertise, while the remaining 40.7% is influenced by other factors not included in the study. The ANOVA result is significant with P smaller than 0.001, which means the regression model is suitable for this research. So now, let's look at the hypothesis results. For hypothesis 1, attractiveness has a significant positive relationship with purchase intention, and the beta equals to 0.345 and the p-value smaller than 0.001, therefore the hypothesis 1 is accepted. This means attractive influencers encourage students to buy beauty products. And hypothesis 2 is trustworthiness does not have a significant relationship with purchase intention. The beta show 0.153 and the p-value equals to 0.061, therefore the hypothesis 2 is rejected. This means trustworthiness alone is not enough to influence students to purchase beauty products. And the last hypothesis is expertise has a significant positive relationship with purchase intention. The beta show equals 0.393 and the p-value smaller than 0.001, therefore the hypothesis 3 is accepted. Among all variables, expertise is the strongest factor because it has the highest beta value. This shows that students are more likely to buy beauty products when the influencers are knowledgeable and experienced. And finally, I will conclude our study. This research examined the impact of social media influencer, credibility on the purchase intention of beauty products among university students. Our findings shows that attractiveness has a positive and significant influence on purchase intention. Expertise also has a positive and significant influence, and it's the strongest factor. However, trustworthiness does not have a significant influence on purchase intention. In conclusion, students are more influenced by influencers who are attractive and knowledgeable rather than simply trustworthy. These findings can help beauty brands choose influencers with the right characteristics to improve their marketing campaigns and increase customer purchase intention. That's all from us. Thank you for listening to our presentation. Bye.